I'm going to start this video off by saying that I'm not the biggest fan of Mr. Duduzani Zuma, but I do want to talk about something important that he was addressing during the course of the interview that he had on the panel show. It was a very interesting interview. A lot of interesting topics were being discussed, but I just want to highlight this one topic which I feel is important, is very close to my heart, is the issue of these business forums that we see cropping up in our communities. Before I go any further, let me show you this clip. Please watch.
Similarly, we've seen discussions around business forum activities. People have grouped up, which is a beautiful thing. From different parts, you want to be part of benefiting from economic activities in your areas, your townships, or wherever it is that you are. It's beautiful. Set up, go have the conversations. But when it comes to a point where you are shaking people down, then we know the guys. These are homies, our brothers, uncles, cousins. When you rock up to a spot, we've heard about construction mafias and that sort of thing. When you rock up to a spot, rifle in hand, and you say, guys, we're taking a piece of this business or else you're not operating. That's a problem.
Extortion.
It is extortion. Let's be clear. It's not business. That's not business.
It happens a lot around this country, and I'm scared that I'm getting to see and meet more people in the spaces.
No, that's what I'm saying. We know these guys.
The number of gangs that run.
We love the guys. These are our guys, but...
And some of them are really nice people.
No, but I mean...
Very nice people.
At the end of the day, and this is the final point, and just...
No,
that's the final point, and I needed to get this across because it is a problem.
Yeah.
And why it is a problem is, once again, when I say black people, let's take ourselves seriously. We're not taking ourselves seriously. If we want opportunities, let's have the discussion and let's negotiate. Let's create opportunities for each other. Right? This is a space. This is what we're going to do. Let's build and let's expand. When you rock up to a place of business, and that person eventually decides, I cannot operate because of however much investment I've made. I'm now making money for people that are not even, putting the sweat into the business. I'm shutting down. We're going to have a problem in this country where investors, including yourself and myself, will say, hold on one second. I'm working for you by force.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's see what happens when I shut down.
Yeah.
So what happens is, in the townships, all the retail stores, all the liquor stores, whatever it is out there, the roads that are being constructed that are stopped because people want a piece of the action, housing projects, whatever it is. When people decide, you know what, we're not interested, we're pulling our investment, we're going somewhere else. We're going to find ourselves in a situation where there's going to be a lot of gunmen with no one to extort.
A lot of gunmen and no one to extort. Very important topic there being addressed by Mr. Duduzani Zuma. And I feel like I made this videos simply because I wanted to highlight this one important topic. This is just one important topic that they were discussing among many, and I suggest that you go on YouTube and look for the panel show so that you can see the whole interview. This was very interesting. But having said that, I feel like Mr. Duduzani Zuma addressed one of the most important issues that should be addressed. By the way, should be addressed by our politicians. They are the ones to be addressing this issue. Make sure that they put actions in place to cap the spread of these mafia gangs disguised as business forums. Because business forums, in reality, the logic is that these are people who are supposed to be negotiating the involvement of black businesses in the economic activities that are going on in their communities, and so there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think that I would disagree with that. But however, if the method for such involvement is to strong arms, to use brute force upon these businesses, upon these business people that are operating in our communities, then that is not reflective of the community that we want to live in. This is not something that we want to see in our communities. And what happens is that with these business forums, so-called business forums, instead of benefiting members of the community, they end up benefiting a very few people who because of their power to use aggression, are the one who end up being the beneficiaries of these so-called business forums. And so it's very important that this issue is addressed now rather than later, because I think that it will be much more difficult to deal with this issue much later on, when there are so many of these groups that have been formulated out there. I think it's much easier to deal with them now, while it's still limited. It's widespread, but it's still limited compared to what would happen if should they be left alone to their own devices to do as they like. I said earlier that I am not the biggest fan of Mr. Duduzani Zuma. What I meant by that is that I'm not a strong supporter of his candidacy, because during the course of this interview, you will hear, if you watch it, that they say that he says is running for presidency. I don't support that, because in South Africa we are a democracy that is still developing, and I don't think that having members of the same family taking turns to lead our country, I don't think this is reflective of a good path of progress. That's not the direction that we want to see this country going into. And so I don't support the idea that, even though perhaps legally Mr. Zuma, there's nothing that hinders him from running for office, for the highest office in the country, but for fear that this will play into South Africa being a monarchy rather than a democracy, I wouldn't endorse the idea of him running for presidency. But of course, some people may disagree. If you disagree, please do it in the comment section. Tell me what you think. Do you think that Duduzani Zuma should run for presidency? Would you vote for him if he ran for presidency? And also a comment on this issue of business forums that are strong-arming, forcing business people to do business with them. What you think about that? And don't forget to subscribe, thumbs up. I'll see you on the other side.